Let's talk Rice, and this is a good one. This should be cool. Okay, so let's get up to Rice.
Be a good team.
I'm gonna let Andy talk about Rice, but there is a lot to like here. First of all, Mike Bloomgren back for his 7th season as head coach, and you can make a strong argument. In fact, I don't even think this is a hot take. This is going to be the best team he's had with his tenure there. You got same coordinators underneath them. They're 5th in the country in returning production. 5th in the country in returning production, including 1st on defense. No team in the FBS brought back more of their production on the defensive side of the ball than Rice. And here's what's crazy. So not only do they bring back so much of last year's team, but the one position they lost quarterback, which was JT Daniels. So you're like, oh, they're screwed. They lost the most important position. They brought in EJ Warner. I'm not saying EJ Warner's an upgrade, but you can make an argument. EJ Warner was playing at Temple last year and putting up video game numbers. So EJ Warner on this Rice team with that offensive line that's mostly back, that defense that wasn't really good last year, but they brought everyone back and have the same DC. This team could be really good.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree. You said that it's an argument. I don't think it's an argument. JT Daniels was not good last year. I mean, there was a game at home against UConn. He pretty much single-handedly lost them that game. I mean, he was not anything special last year. And DJ Warner was, like you said, video game numbers: 3,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, 12 picks. Those are really, really good numbers at Temple. I mean, Temple was an awful. And we talked about like Temple yesterday. I think the video was like 3 minutes long because they're that bad. But he put up great stats there. So football also in his blood. He's Kurt Warner's son. So quarterbacks with football in their blood. But also their top running back, 1,000-yard season last year. He's back. 3 out of 4 top 4 receivers. They're back. Great O-line transfers too. I mean, I love this offense, and that's not even the side that I think you're most excited about. I think their offense is going to be great. The other side, also number 1 in defensive returning production, is great for them as well. So that's huge. Their D-line's huge. They brought in a Dartmouth transfer that's a big pickup. 2nd in the Ivy League Player of the Year vote last year. I mean, that's huge. Those are huge transfers they brought in. So I love what this team did, not only bringing guys back, but bringing guys in. So this is a really, really good team.
And something I like is I was considering laying 10.5 points with Rice in week 1 right now. They're home against Sam Houston State, and Sam Houston, granted, they weren't nearly as bad as their record indicated last year, but they play in Conference USA. How many NFL caliber quarterbacks are they seeing last year? I mean, those kids, some of them they still have a lot of FCS kids, although they brought in transfers, and it's that's not so much true anymore. But how many of the kids on that defense have seen an NFL caliber quarterback? I mean, I think EJ Warner is at least fringe NFL guy.
Oh yeah, he's still young, I think, right? He has another year after.
Yeah, he's another year after this.
Yeah, so I think he'd probably be a guy that could make a NFL roster one day, and that's something Sam Houston hasn't seen. I think that's the one thing. I think you said it yesterday. Going through these teams, we started with Sam Houston. I think it was the first day we did games. Had we gone through everybody, we would have looked at their schedule and been like, oh, Rice is a loss. I think I said that they were going to be a win. But now we've looked at these teams and like,
oh, no, well,
Rice
I said loss. I had
team.
Sam Houston as under.
Yeah, we were very high on Sam Houston. We're still high on them, but when you look I bet if we asked Scoop, he would also say he's still high on them. But when you look at these teams, like, that's probably a loss, and that's probably a game that Rice could cover 10.5. Like,
I think I'm going to bet that right now.
Yeah, I think that's a game. That's a lower
You got
number.
Sam Houston State going on the road into Rice to play not only a fringe NFL quarterback, but you got returning OC, returning offensive line, returning running back, returning receivers. I mean, this is going to be a good offense, a better offense than Sam Houston State saw all of last year, with the exception of maybe Liberty.
Yeah, I agree. That's why, like, their non-conference is pretty easy overall, but like that game to start the season should be a pretty easy. Not easy, but it'll be manageable. And then obviously week 2 is gonna be a cakewalk,
or certainly a Rice team total over.
Yeah, that game.
What's
overall,
the total? You know, I know we're not doing week 1 right now.
Oh, you mean total for the game?
Yeah, well, I don't know. We're not doing week 1 right now, but I'm curious. I'd like to see a total.
I think every week 1 line is out. USA 1.
Most of them are, yeah. 48.5.
That's not a bad number.
So that means with a 10.5 point spread, Rice's team total is going to be about 29.5, which sounds about right.
I think they
What was
drop
Rice
30.
pace last year? Oh, they ran a slow pace last year, and they have the same OC, so maybe not that. Maybe we'll just do the.
Does Warner fit into that? What did Temple run last year? Because that was the system where he was successful. So
I'll plug in Temple. Let's see what
definitely
Temple.
has to look at that.
Temple was 34th in pace.
So he's
So,
run a fast
defi-
pace.
Yeah, okay. So Warner ran a much faster pace last year at Temple, but I mean, I don't know how much that moves the needle.
I think when you recruit a guy, do you tell him like, hey, we're going to speed up the pace for you because that's what you're comfortable in? Or do you tell him like, no, you're going to slow your ass down? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess predicting the pace for, I would say, the quarterback molds to the offensive coordinator. He probably transferred there for a reason because he thinks this guy can help him. Yeah. So that's what I would think at least. So yeah, I like Rice, and we can look at the schedule, but I can almost tell you I'm going over here. But they do play a difficult schedule. You got to.
Their non-conference is easy. I don't like their conference schedule. If you look at something, they play.
They could start 5-1.
Two of the top 3 teams they play on at home, which is good. So that's definitely good. They play USF and UTSA on the road or at home. Memphis on the road is gonna be tough. Tulane's not an easy team to play on the road. UAB is not an easy team. So those are tougher road games, but. I think the non-conference kind of wins it for me. That's why I'm on their over. I think their non-conference is so weak because they're going to win against Sam Houston. I think we've made that clear. Texas Southern's going to be a cakewalk, and they're going to beat Connecticut. Connecticut beat them last year. That's a revenge game.
Yeah, and they're going to beat Navy.
They're far better than they were last year.
This is over, yeah.
And Army, they're probably going to beat Army that game at Army, but still, that's a tough place to play. So really, what do we need? We need them to win like what? 2 of the Charlotte, UTSA, Tulane, Memphis, UAB. Yeah, this is
over. Unfortunately, you can get a 6.5. Oh, you can get a 7 at plus 120. Let's see if we can find an 8th win. I honestly think that they could realistically start 5-1 with 1 loss at Houston. And by the way, Houston.
Yeah, I was just about to say Houston is not going.
No, but they brought in the new coach. They're going to be better. That's
the thing. I don't think they're going to be better.
But their defense was so bad that, like, is it crazy to think Rice goes in there and puts 35 points on them? I don't think that's
Fritz,
crazy.
Right? They hired Willie Fritz, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a situation that's going to be tough this year. So that could be a winnable game.
Well, I think so 5-1 after 6 games.
Yeah.
UConn, Navy, that's 7. You beat UAB or Florida, you're at 8. Yo, I might take that over 7 at plus 120.
Yeah, I think the last 3 games are going to be brutal, but if they could steal one of them, like you said, that's 8.